Welcome to History Land. If you like to know more about the Syria war, don't forget to check out our channel. On 1st of March, one Syrian government soldier was killed, and two were wounded after an armed attack on an Air Force intelligence outpost in the eastern Deir countryside. On 2nd of March, fighters from the rebel Fateh al-Mubin killed 3 government soldiers in the city of Atareb, after launching a sniping operation. On 3rd of March, unknown gunmen riding a motorcycle shot dead 2 SDF soldiers at a military checkpoint in Jadid Bakar, a town in the eastern countryside of Deir Ez Zor. On 5th of March, 4 people were killed and 24 others were wounded with burns after surface-to-surface missiles were fired by Russian warships. And Syrian government military barracks hit a Turkish-backed rebel-held oil market and refineries in Tarin and Al-Hamra near Al-Bab, Aleppo Governorate. It took firefighters several hours in order to extinguish the fire, which extended to about 180 oil tankers. On 6th of March, an SDF checkpoint was attacked by ISIS militants in the Al-Mayadeen area, killing 1 SDF soldier. SDF reinforcements were also ambushed by ISIS on approach to the area, leaving a further 6 SDF fighters dead and another 6 wounded. On 7th of March, 18 people were killed and 3 others were wounded, due to mines left by ISIS exploded in Ras al-Ammar in eastern Hama Governorate. An SDF commander was also targeted by machine gun fire in the Deban area and was killed. ISIS militants also targeted a Syrian army tank with an improvised explosive device, east of Salamiyah, resulting in the deaths of the entire tank crew. On 8th of March, ISIS militants attacked Abu Fadl al-Abbas of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard in Al-Aqula area, killing at least 1 militiaman. Members of an ISIS cell also shot dead an SDF fighter in the market of Theban town, in the eastern countryside of Deir Ez Zor. On 11th of March, ISIS militants attacked SDF headquarters in the village of Deban, killing 1 SDF fighter and wounding another. On 12th of March, ISIS launched a surprise attack against pro-government Iranian-backed militias in the Al-Mayadeen desert, resulting in the deaths of 7 militiamen. After the attack, ISIS then burnt the bodies. Later in the day, SDF forces backed by coalition helicopters killed 6 ISIS militants in Deir Ez Zor province. Also on the same day, government forces attacked rebel forces with rockets in western Idlib, leading to the deaths of 4 members of the National Liberation Front rebel faction. Also on 12th of March, ISIS militants broke into the house of an SDF intelligence operative in the Al-Sawar area. They executed the SDF operative after interrogating him. On 14th of March, rocket fire targeted an illegal oil market in Al-Hamra near Jarablus in Aleppo province, held by Turkish-backed rebels, leaving several civilians wounded and burned out trucks. Also on 14th of March, ISIS operatives broke into the house of an SDF fighter north of Raqqa and killed him. ISIS also claimed abducting and executing a Syrian army soldier near Al-Haraq on the same day. On 15th of March, 13 ISIS militants were killed after the Russian Air Force conducted around 80 airstrikes in the Syrian desert, destroying ISIS caves and positions. On 16th of March, a convoy of the Syrian Army's 4th Armored Division was attacked by gunmen in Deir province whilst en route to the town of Muzayrib. The attack left at least 21 soldiers dead and others wounded. On 19th of March, during Ain-Issa clashes, 3 Turkish-backed militants and a Turkish officer were killed after heavy clashes with the SDF on the Ain-Issa front. 2 SDF fighters were also killed in the fighting. The same day, 2 Syrian soldiers were killed by unknown gunmen in the center of Deir city. On 20th of March, SDF forces were attacked by ISIS militants while celebrating Nowruz in Jazrat al-Abu Hamid, near Raqqa. 3 SDF fighters were killed and 4 others were wounded. On 21st of March, government forces targeted a hospital in Atareb. During the attack, 6 civilians including a child were reported killed as a result of artillery fire by the government forces. Several medics were also wounded as a result of the attack. Among the wounded were 5 medical staff of the Syrian American Medical Society. Following the deadly attack on the Al-Atareb Surgical Hospital, the International Rescue Committee issued a statement condemning the attack. They further urged the United Nations, including world leaders, to ensure that international laws are respected, as well as holding perpetrators accountable so as to prevent future violations. On the same day, Russian jets hit gas facilities in the town of Sarmata, and struck Ka with a surface-to-surface missile. On the same day, 2 Syrian soldiers were abducted by ISIS in the Al-Sukna Desert, Homs Governorate. They were interrogated and then executed. Another Syrian soldier was also abducted and executed near Al-Qaryatayn in the same region. The same day ISIS launched an attack on Iranian-backed militias in the Al-Mayadeen Desert in eastern Deir Ez Zor, killing 2 fighters and injuring 7 others. On 23 March, Syrian army and rebel factions traded rocket fire on the Idlib front, and that a Syrian soldier had been killed in Sarakib after rebels launched another sniping operation. On 24 March, a Syrian soldier had died on the northern Latakia front due to a landmine explosion. He was the second soldier to be killed by a landmine on the Latakia front within the past 24 hours. On 26 March, 7 Syrian army militiamen killed and 3 others were wounded after ISIS forces attacked their positions in the desert of Oqirabat, in the eastern countryside of Hama. On 27 March, the Syrian Arab Army began a rocket attack targeting HTS militants on the front lines of Idlib. 5 HTS militants were killed in the attack. On 28 March, the Syrian Kurdish forces launched an operation in northeastern Syria, where alleged family members of ISIS militants were staying. The operation, which was carried out at the Al-Hol camp, was reported to have led to the arrest of at least 9 people, including an ISIS recruiter. Also, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance support were given to the SDF for the operation, by the US-led coalition combating ISIS. About 5,000 security forces were deployed in Al-Hol, in order to protect the residents during the operation, which was expected to last for a minimum of 10 days. On 30 March, $6.4 billion in humanitarian aid was raised by international donors, at a virtual 2-day conference for Syria, to assist Syrians ravaged by a decade of civil war. Germany topped the donation by pledging $2 billion during the aid conference, while the US pledged $600 million. However, the funds were said to have been short of the $10 billion which the UN had aimed for.